All right, we are back. So, what we have is a case where the unions, the whore of the Obama administration, are now squealing because they don't like the way they're treated. They don't like the Obamacare that they think was good for everybody but them. And so, 40,000 of them the other day declared an end. 40,000 longshoremen just basically said, we've had enough. So, what is the Obama administration going to do? Very interesting question. He's promising he's going to give them special dispensation and give them the benefit of the Obamacare program by giving them credit, essentially, that was supposed to go to the unemployed and the indigent. There's an article I posted up on our Facebook page this morning by Forbes. And it's a very, very telling article. And so the argument here, of course, is that what we are seeing at this stage in the game is the unions, then the labor unions, are squealing bloody murder. They've been increasingly vocal about their objections to certain provisions of Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. And here's what they say. It will shatter not only our hard-earned health benefits, but destroy the foundation of the 40-hour work week that is the backbone of the American middle class. So now they're seeking subsidies that are supposed to be set up and geared and designed to be given to those who can't pay for it otherwise. Isn't it funny that Congress and the president, Congress squealed like a pig too, because they said that they were going to suffer a brain drain, meaning all of the congressional aides and staffers were going to be able to not afford 2.5% of their gross income to pay for the same Obamacare they're saddling you with. So the president has broken the law again through another unconstitutional and traitorous executive order, and he's paying for Congress. Can you believe that? We are going to pay a subsidy for those wealthy pigs on Capitol Hill who are already making 120 to 250% of what their counterparts are making in private industry for the same exact job. And because they scream, we're going to sit here and subsidize Congress. Now we're going to do it for the unions, his other whore. You see, that's the problem, folks. This administration's got a harem of whores who back him up on every play. And the minute they squeal, he just pays them a little bit more. They're his prostitutes. That's all they are. The unions, Congress, all of these organizations and groups, United Auto Workers, AFL-CIO, United Food and Commerce Workers, they're all willing to sell you down the river so that they can get their pound of flesh now. And that's all they care about. They voted him in, and now they're getting their payback. The administration is working to address union concerns. Why? They demanded he do this. Now that it's there, they don't like it because they don't like the way the rules were written. The 20,000 pages of rules that came out of a 2,000-page bill, which, by the way, if you compare that against the absolute most important document that's ever been written, the United States Constitution, was only 16 pages. So the founders wrote in 16 pages what ruled this country for the first 200 years. And it took these guys 2,000 pages and then 20,000 pages of regulations to write probably the worst bill that's ever hit the American public. According to Rashana Dixit of the Inside Health Policy, the administration is working on regulations to address the issues that people covered under the Taft-Hartley plans aren't eligible for subsidies. Democratic sources and aides and sources on Capitol Hill say conversations about union concerns are ongoing and that the administration is working on regulations to address the issues. Richard Trumka, the president of the AFL-CIO, confirmed to Real Clear Politics that fixes to the law were a topic of conversation among top labor leaders and senior White House officials this week. We're talking about health care, and we'll continue to talk about health care to try to solve the problem, says Trumka. So basically the White House is coming out and saying, we're going to give special dispensation to the unions so that they don't have to pay for their own health care like everybody else will. Just like Congress won't have to. Hey, I got to ask you the obvious question. Is that what this president calls fair? You mean that he helped his cronies and his buddies, but he's willing to sell you down the river? I'll tell you, if you fall for this and you allow it to go on, you're guilty of participating. There's no other way to look at this, folks. If you're guilty of participating, then you're as guilty as the people who wrote the law. 40,000 longshoremen the other day quit the AFL-CIO in protest and said, we've had enough, we're done. That's it. 40,000 members of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union announced that they have formally ended their association with the AFL-CIO. The longshoremen cited Obamacare and immigration reform as two important causes of their disaffiliation. In an August 29th letter to Trumka, the ILWU president, Robert McElrath, cited a list of grievances as reasons for their dissolution from their affiliation. The reasons why they're separating. We feel the Federation has done a great disservice to the labor movement and all working people to get along by going along to get along. The president of the Longshoremen Union made it clear they are for a single-payer nationalized health care policy and are upset with the AFL-CIO for going along with Obama on the confiscatory tax on their Cadillac health plan. So, here these people are saying, it's okay for a single-payer nationalized health care plan, but we don't like the fact that you've penalized us. I got to tell you, the treason is just blatant, folks. It's as if things weren't bad enough. The AFL-CIO is losing its members because they haven't betrayed the rest of America hard enough. Really? I mean, come on, people. This is unbelievable. This guy goes on to say, President Obama ran on a platform that he would not tax medical plans. And at the 2009 AFL-CIO convention, you stated, he's talking to Trumka, you stated that labor would not stand for a tax on our benefits. But regardless of that promise, the president has pushed for just such a tax, and Trumka and the AFL-CIO bowed to political pressure to line up behind Obama's tax on those plans. They're even harsher on the issue of immigration. They slammed the Obama's immigration plan, saying it is designed to give only highly paid workers a real path to citizenship. Guys, I tell you what. this is a perfect example of all that is wrong with this minority-led politics of the corporate crony. You know, this is why corporatocracy is a word. This government is sitting here licking the boots of these people to get their free votes, and then you can see how it discards them. After the promises have been made, they got the votes, and suddenly they discard and just abandon those that were their workers and their supporters and their pawns. If this doesn't give the perfect example to the minority black community of why and how supporting Barack Obama is leading to the death of your entire minority population, I don't know what more you're asking for. Here's the perfect example right here for you. You supported him as a union member, and now he's betrayed you. You supported him as a black person because you said, he's black, he's going to have my back. And what he's done is he's betrayed you. Your unemployment is higher than it's ever been. Your unemployment in your youth is higher. He is supporting and assisting in the degradation of your society, the inner cities, the urban environment. He's done absolutely nothing to help you politically, ethically, morally, socially, or any other way. Hurts to find out you've been betrayed, doesn't it? But the truth is, it's up to you to fix it. It's up to you to fix it. How can you do that? Well, what I'm encouraging America to do is simply opt out of all interaction with Obamacare. Just opt out. You just don't play. Because if you do, you're agreeing. Now, here's an interesting way to look at this. You can vote a way where your vote can never be stolen. You don't have to show your ID. And you don't actually have to even register. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this. Obamacare's D-Day is October 1st. And here's a way that you can vote where your vote can never be stolen. You don't have to register. You don't have to show an identification document. And, interestingly, you can't vote more than once, but your vote will count. You simply opt out. On October 1, make yourself known to every traitor in Congress, every traitor in the unions, every traitor in every piece of every organization that has supported the treason of Obamacare, the theft. Tell them that since they can't afford the Obamacare plan that they demand that you economically chain yourself to, that you can't either. I'm suggesting that America should call every radio station. You should be writing op-eds in your local newspaper. You should be calling your state and federal representatives. You should be talking at your churches. You should be talking and sharing this information at work. You should be enlisting others to opt out and vote with your wallet. Vote with your feet. They can't steal that one from you. You should start a conversation when you're in the grocery store at the line waiting for the checkout. You should be doing that when you're standing there at the gas station and the guy across from you is pumping gas and you've got 5 minutes to have a quick down and dirty conversation. You should put a sign up in your front yard that says, I opted out of Obamacare and you should too. You should tell the world that you won't support treason and that the traitors who are perpetuating it are acting outside the boundaries of the law. You should be telling anyone and everyone. You can put a sign up on your car. Why not? Put up a sign on your car so that as you're driving, everyone can read it. It says, I'm opting out of Obamacare on D-Day, October 1. Take an ad out in your local newspaper. Doesn't have to be a big one. Just take an ad out and stick it in the classifieds. What is it, $6, $8, $10? Rent a billboard if you can find one. Put up a notice on the counter at your business. Make up a group of flyers that says, Obamacare is trying to destroy America from the inside, and I'm opting out. I'm voting with my wallet, and they can't steal that vote. And explain why. Then put this up on your counter in your store so that everyone who comes in sees it. And offer it to them and ask them to take a copy at home and share it with their friends. That's how movements get started, people. The simple truth is, if we're going to defund Obamacare, we're only going to do it by not participating because it's your money they need to make it happen. I keep hearing people say, go to defund Obamacare, go to this website, sign that petition. Let me tell you something. All those petitions, I'm not disagreeing with the idea of them, but they're useless because they're not listening to you. They're not listening to me. The only way that you're going to defund Obamacare is to not play. Just simply don't sign up. Don't submit your personal information. Don't give him your Social Security number. Don't give him your home address. Don't give him your telephone number, your history, your medical records. Don't play. Just refuse. Opt out and it will collapse of its own weight. Don't you see? You can defund Obamacare by yourself. You don't need anybody else. Just you. You don't have to go to Congress. You don't have to beg some tyrant. You just opt out. And we will bankrupt it. We will defund it, with or without congressional assistance. We don't need them. All we need is literally millions and millions and millions of Americans to say, no, we're not going to play. We're not signing up. We're not giving you our information. Your data hub will be a river that will be a dry riverbed. We're not giving you our personal information. We're not going to play. We're not going to fall in line and do as we're told. Unconstitutional, unlawful, illegal, unethical, immoral. Pick your favorite word. The truth is just no. We're not going to play. And if you do that, and if you're willing to stand up and do what you know to be right, and many, many, many others do and take it upon themselves to do what they know to be right, Obamacare will come apart like a cheap suit in the rain. The thread will dissolve, and the suit will fall apart. But it's entirely up to you as to whether or not you're going to allow that to happen. You've got to be a player. And to be a player, you refuse to play. Just opt out. Tell everyone that you know, just opt out. Tell everyone that you come in contact with, just opt out. Get a sign and put it on the back of your truck. Tape it to the back of the bed of your truck. Tape it to the back windshield of your car. Put up a sign in your business. Put up a sign in the window of your business. Put it up on the billboard outside your business. Write a letter to the local newspaper. Put it in an op-ed. Send a letter to the editor. Speak at your local church. Talk about it at work. When you bounce into somebody over at the grocery store line, say, you know, this October 1 Obamacare thing is coming and I'm not going to sign up. There's a nationwide move afoot to opt out. And 80% of America believes that Obamacare is wrong. You should play too. Just ignore it and opt out. Don't sign up. And while you're saying that to one person in the grocery store line, there's 12 other people standing behind you who are hearing the same thing. It's the equivalent of it's the modern day soapbox of old. Everywhere you go, this should be the topic of conversation. Yes, some people are going to look at you and disagree. So what? Have the courage of your convictions. Stand up. Fight back. Refuse to be a victim. And that is exactly what we are. At the hands of government, we are nothing more than victims. You are a victim of Obamacare. You are a victim of the NSA. You are a victim of the undeclared wars that have been raging for decades now, under all manner of all administrations, whatever color, whatever their stripe, whatever their treason, they're all working against you. You've been sold out. You've been sold down the river. You've been shackled. You're being chained. You're being monitored. You're being watched. You're being controlled. You're being manipulated. And it's up to you if you're going to end it. I want everyone to call their senator and their House member today and say, I'm opting out because what you passed and you're going to force me to accept is something which you yourself refuse to take. And therefore, if it's not good enough for you, it's not good enough for me. That's it, people. That makes it very, very easy. Call your senator, 202-224-3121. You got two of them. After you're done with the first one, hang it up and call 202-224-3121 and ask for the other senator. Say the same thing. Then hang up the phone and call 202-224-3121 and ask for your House rep. Say the same thing again. Then call your state representatives and your state senators and say the exact same thing again. I know you don't have any vote on this, but I'm not signing up for Obamacare because it's a betrayal of everything that the United States stands for. It's coercion and tyranny, and I won't sign up for it. I just want you to know, because as my representative, I expect you to stand up and interpose yourself as my protector. And I'm putting you on notice that I'm watching you and I'm paying attention to what you're doing. And if you won't protect us from Obamacare, then you don't belong in office. So I'm letting you know now that millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of Americans are going to refuse to sign up and opt out of Obamacare. And that we, as a collective group, are refusing to participate. And you should help us. You, as a state representative, should protect us. That's why the state legislature is there, the state assembly, the state Congress, whatever you call it in your state. Their job is to defend us from the federal government operating tyrannically. That's it. That's what it comes down to. That's why states have their own sovereignty based on the 10th Amendment. Okay, we are wrapping up this show. We are going to have some information posted up on our website. You can find it there at americasvoicenow.org. You can also find our show at youtube.com/America's Voice Now. We put this program up on YouTube after every episode every day. We simply upload it to YouTube. You can catch each of the half-hour segments. If you find one that you think is particularly relevant to you, your situation, your family, your coworkers, your friends, your neighbors, your church participants, send it to them. Send them a link and say, here's a message I think you ought to see. And then what can we do collectively to help fight back? That's the only way, folks. If this is going to end, it's going to end because we declare it to its point of end. It's not going to happen on its own. It's only going to happen when we make it happen. You can find us also at Facebook. Please make sure that you go onto our Facebook page and like it, and that you share the stories up there. We post anywhere between 10 and 15 a day. These are issues that are relevant to your situation and mine. They're current stories that matter right here, right now, today, that you need to know about. We find you the truth where no one else will, and we share it with you every single day. You can go to americasvoicenow.org, and you can sign up for our email newsletter. Please make sure that you do that so that we have an opportunity to communicate with you. Share it with your friends. We're going to disappear for the end of today, but we'll be back tomorrow morning. You can catch us live and watch the show live on our website at americasvoicenow.org. Simply scroll down beneath the top slider and click the button that says Watch Live, and you can catch the show streaming. Then you can send your friends to it on YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow morning bright and early. Thanks for listening to America's Voice Now.